But, people say the only thing rising at the moment in the economy is gloom and doom.
Well, there is one little bit of good news. We'll come to that in a minute. But the problem is the bank's got a problem. Normally, when you've got inflation, you put interest rates up to try and slow the economy down. The economy is already slowing down. In fact, we may already be in recession. So, therefore, would you actually be trying to encourage the economy to grow? But hang on, that will increase inflation. So, and this is one of the problems we had with the baby budget, because the Bank of England was going one way and the baby budget was going the other way. That's why it didn't make sense. So, what they now have to do is focus on inflation. That has to be the main thing to try and deal with. And forward-looking figures look as though inflation comes down potentially quite dramatically next year. If we look at the currency figures and particularly commodity figures for next year. Therefore, so in 12 months to 18 months' time, inflation isn't such an issue. So therefore, those rates could be down. The problem we've been on emergency rates ever since the banking crisis. So people, quite rightly, taking out a mortgage at 1-2%, thinking this is very good value. No, it's an emergency level. At some stage, they are going to go back to normal rates, and normal is about 4 or 5%. And that's expensive.
Well, what should the government do? It seems to me it's in a bit of a dilemma. If it goes for growth, like Liz Truss tried to do, and cut taxes and spend money, it spooks the markets because they say, well, hold on a minute, your borrowing's getting out of hand. If you cut spending and put up taxes, you reassure the markets that you're getting your borrowing under control and reduce the rate that you borrow at. But, of course, you turn the country into recession.
Well,
so
that's it.
What should the government...
The most dangerous thing at the moment is inflation. And, of course, we haven't really seen big inflation like this for 20 years. And because inflation actually ruins people's wealth and actually devalues it. Funnily enough, governments actually quite like a little bit of inflation because it devalues their debt as well. But they don't talk about that one too much. Get inflation under control, and then you can actually be in a position where you can start encouraging more growth. Where do you encourage growth? Those areas of the British economy where we're good at, which we've discussed before, some of the smaller businesses, high-tech businesses in those high-tech centres around the country. They're the ones that need direct focus, not government support. You can give more tax breaks, if you say it like. There's no shortage of money. What we need to do is actually focus investment money into that.
OK. There's an interesting article by Juliet Samuel in The Telegraph today. And again, you'll be talking, well, where can you get growth from? Can you put money into infrastructure projects? Some of those looks like they're going to be cancelled. And she's basically saying the Conservatives are about to make or repeat George Osborne's mistakes. And she's saying you can't cancel some of those infrastructure projects. I'd probably question that. I don't know what you think. I've always thought HS2, waste of money. Yep. Yes, across the north, get a train line. Yes, but really look into the future. You need high-speed broadband, not high-speed too. But this money going into the economy through infrastructure projects, what do you think?
As long as they're the right projects. I agree with you, HS2, where here you are investing in, well, frankly, yesterday's...
and if they're always going to be on strike... What's the point?
We're going to have a bit of transport which goes on rails. Can it go left or right? No, it just goes on the rail. No, yes. the one you wanted was actually connecting Liverpool to Hull. That was the high speed one you actually
Exactly, across the north.
More connections to London merely feeds more to London. We know what London does. It sucks it out. No, high-speed internet, and you know where those high-speed internet operations can be put. You look at something like Cornwall. There's one or two places there, some of the high-tech areas there, where they actually had, the EU actually put in ultra-high speed in certain areas there. That's why they voted to leave, presumably. And you can already see the change happening. So it's actually quite quick. And these companies breed. They create little hubs on their own. And, you go by the nicknames: Silicon Glen, Fen, Bridge, Silicon Beach. Man, that's Brighton. But you come across some fascinating businesses all over the place. They're the ones that actually need encouragement. Give them the tax breaks for capital gains, for investment going in, and amazing what the reaction you'll actually get coming through. And this is always one of the things I've got. We need more regional investment to encourage all of this, less in London. And the good news about the high-tech businesses is actually they're not all in London. I say most of them. A very good proportion of them are not in London, elsewhere in those centres. Encourage them, get the growth.
Justin Urquhart Stewart, thank you very much indeed for joining us.